Today we're recapping the Lions Steelers preseason game, and it's a doozy. So let's talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. If you're just joining me, my name is Jay. Thanks for hanging out. For those of you returning, thanks for liking this video. Thanks for throwing your thoughts about the game in the comments section. It was wild, and not in a great way. Dan Campbell said it really well himself when he quoted it as the tale of two halves. It's really well put, because the first half was like a hot pile of trash, while the second half, we actually came out and looked like a team, some semblance of a team. It was pretty brutal to sit there and have to watch it all. However, as brutal as it was, a lot of good stuff, some silver linings that we could pull out from it, and a lot of bad stuff that we can work on, see the team adjust and move forward in as we continue forward in the preseason and coming up here pretty soon, the regular season. I'm going to do my best to keep this recap as short as possible, just to hit a couple tidbits of some really negative things that we saw and some of the good things that we saw from this game. So without any further ado, let's start with some of the poor performances, and we got to start with Tavai. I'm sorry, it's over. It's over, in my personal opinion. Watching Tavai last night, it was the last bit of, please, sir, perform to what we really believe that you can, and Tavai just couldn't get it done. He looked pretty bad out there. Now, look, he's obviously good enough to be a professional athlete. I'm not taking anything away from him in that, but I do believe it is time to end the experiment, as many people are calling for, with his time here in Detroit. Right in the first quarter, there was the play where the Steelers run some sort of slant right in front of Tavai, cutting right across from him. Right off the bat, it looked like he just wasn't prepared for that type of route. He's unable to make an open field tackle. He gets burnt. The guy slides around him, going down on the side, watching Tavai just run behind him, just slower than him. I understand that he has shed some weight trying to pick it up, but Tavai was never fast in the first place. And so now, hoping that that weight being shed will pick up the speed, it just doesn't seem like it. I think it's time to cut our losses. We've known his struggles in the past. We see his struggles. We knew them coming into this season and what he would have to do in order to perform and keep himself around. And I just don't think he has done anything near enough to keep himself on the squad. Secondly, we got the DBs, and they were on the struggle bus last night. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. Ben Roethlisberger played them like an old piano that somehow was still in tune. It was like Roethlisberger was the pianist in the movie The Pianist. Big Ben went 8 for 10, 2 TDs, 137 yards, a passer rating of 153. Like, he just came out there and diced our defense. There was the deep ball that Big Ben threw against Okudah. Okudah just got plain burnt out on the outside. And then, strangely enough, Walker was there, and I felt like the ball, it had way too much hang time. It was underthrown. I believe that Walker could have gone up and gotten it. He should have gone up and gotten it. But alas, he did not. It was just a lot of fine-tuning that needs to be done out there for the DBs, for the safeties, that we really have to get done before week 1, September 12th against San Fran. The preseason is nothing more than NFL light. It's like a beer that's like 3%. Am I even drinking this? Is it for the taste? Because if then, just give me a 7%er that tastes good. The last bad thing I would like to talk about is Tim Boyle. Look, man, I was so hyped on Tim Boyle coming in. All I heard were good things. All we saw were good things from his preseason back in 2019. Obviously, he never got to play, being the backup to Aaron Rodgers. Him coming to Detroit, heard a lot of good stuff, saw a lot of good stuff in the preseason, so I was expecting much more out of him. Last night, Tim Boyle looked brutal. He went 7 for 15. His completion percentage was at a 46. He threw for 44 yards total. No TDs. The longest ball he threw for a reception was 10 yards. Tim Boyle was consistently throwing the ball behind our receivers all around, just a poor performance. Now, one aspect that I will give to Boyle is the pressure that the Steelers were applying was beautiful for Pittsburgh. The pocket collapsed multiple times. Plays weren't even developing for him to be able to get the ball out there. There was that odd play where the pressure came in. He ends up throwing the ball. We take a 10-yard flag because it was intentional grounding, though I think we could have made a case for Jamar Jefferson was there. He's an eligible receiver. I don't think we should have taken that penalty. Would have liked to seen us challenge the play because why not? However, Tim Boyle's performance was lackluster, you could say, like a diamond that has yet to have been restored, brought, polished, made beautifully, cut. I don't know the word. I don't know how diamonds work, but they start out pretty grody, just look like a dirty white rock, and then you can make it sparkly. That's what they do. Whatever the process of diamond beautification is, please drop it in the comments because ya boy don't know. All in all, Tim Boyle's performance was not great, has been a huge letdown. He got to play the entire first half, and he got to play into the third quarter. He just didn't have it. Looked bad out there. Very inconsistent. So, with all that being said, there is more bad that I'm not going to get into today. I want to jump into the good. First and foremost, one thing that I noticed consistently was the Detroit Lions defense was able to stop the run. That's something that the Lions defense hasn't been able to do for the last 2-3 years. Last year specifically, stopping the run, it was just, nope. However, last night, we actually looked really good when it came to stopping the run. The defense came together, the D-line, we looked good, especially last week against Buffalo. Couldn't stop the run. Devin Singletary ran the ball down our throats. So it was really exciting last week to see us actually shut the run down, not letting them get the plays developed, watching Harris get shut down. Harris did have a pretty good game for Pittsburgh. All in all, the Lions defense did successfully stop the run. I was also extremely impressed by Derrick Barnes. He's obviously coming off that hamstring injury, and he looked great. He had a good amount of reps last night against Pittsburgh, and he played his heart out. He had 6 total tackles, 2 pass breakups, one of them just about intercepted. He got both hands on it. Honestly, should have been a pick. It wasn't. He knew it. He could feel it. You could see it in him, holding his head. He's like, oh my God, I had the ball. I dropped it. However, 2 pass breakups. That was awesome. And 1 sack. All in all, I was extremely impressed with Barnes, with his attitude, with his fire, his play style, the way he came out and got it done. Another guy that I was very impressed by was David Blough. Look, Tim Boyle had a terrible night. Obviously, just talked about that. David Blough has come out 2 weeks in a row and has outperformed Boyle, really just shining as QB2. Definitely catching me by surprise. Blough went 12 for 17 with 143 yards. He had 1 TD and a passer rating of 115. David Blough is really trying to solidify himself as the QB2 option backup for Jared Goff. Really proud of Blough, really proud of the way he's been playing because didn't see this coming. Next up, we got Levi ONWUZURIKE. He had a really solid performance against Pittsburgh. That was something that I love seeing for him, especially because with training camp, he hasn't been involved in a lot of it due to an injury. Seeing him out there, seeing the reps that he took, he disrupted the offense multiple times, had a tackle, looked great. There's 3 other guys I want to talk about. I'm going to start with Godwin Igwebuike. He looked like a natural running back out there. And if you don't know about Godwin specifically, he was a DB. He played running back in high school. This is the first time he's been in the running back position in the NFL. We have brought him in to play running back. Coach Campbell, they make that move. And I'll tell you what, he looked like a natural once again. He had 7 attempts. He put up 21 yards and a TD. He found the open holes. He made the right moves. His vision in general looked excellent for a guy just switching over from the DB position to the running back position in the NFL. I was really excited, really fun watching him, seeing what he was able to do. Next up, Tom Kennedy. We gotta talk about this. Tom Kennedy, a guy who has been lingering on the Detroit Lions practice squad, the roster. He has made a name and waves for himself this preseason. You look at what he was able to do last week against Buffalo. Talked about it last week. Look at him last night. He goes 4 for 4. Puts up 61 yards. You're looking at 15 yards per reception about, and a long for 31. He looked phenomenal. He looked fluid. He looked focused. He was fast. He was very explosive. I loved everything I saw from him. I do believe that he has bought himself a ticket through the next round of cuts this week. Kennedy is doing more than just impressing. I think that we have something for the future here with Kennedy, judging by his play this preseason. And lastly, AJ Parker. Our guy came in hot last night, putting up a total of 8 tackles. He also had a solid pass breakup. You look at him, basically anywhere, just multiple times on the field, his name just kept popping up, multiple different plays, a pass breakup, 8 tackles. AJ Parker was really a stud against Pittsburgh. He's another guy that I do believe bought himself a ticket through the next round of cuts. AJ Parker played phenomenally. All in all, taking a step back, I'll say this. The first quarter was brutal to watch. It really was. Granted, we did not have a plethora of our starters in there on the O-line. TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. A plethora of starters were not out there. However, for the starters that were out there, I was bummed by a lot of the performances. It's really the backups that we're seeing more and more offensively good things coming from, and I am excited about that. Yes, it was hard to watch. It felt like I was watching some sort of pre-recorded game from the 2020 season. However, under this new coaching regime, there is still good to be had. This year, 2021, growing pains. This game was a great reminder to simply take a breath and remember that the 2021 season isn't our time. This isn't the year that the Lions have a breakout performance. I think this year is a year of development. I've said it 1,000 times. Last night proved it. This is not a winning season for the Lions. So please, if you think it is, just watch last night's game and you'll probably be able to agree with me. And if not, drop it in the comments. How do you guys feel about Tavai? Is it time for the Lions to cut bait and walk away? Drop it in the comments. I look forward to discussing it with you. And as always, I'll catch you next time on Let's Talk Lions.